What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another episode of Predict the Prem, where me and my brother go head-to-head in predicting each and every Premier League outcome of the weekend. And we do have a scoring system as well, which is 5 points for a completely correct score, 1 point for a correct result, and then the star man as well, which is 5 points for a goal, 3 points for assist. But once you pick a star man, you cannot pick them again for the rest of the season. The scores at the moment is 24-22 in Sim's favour, and let's get straight into it with the first game of the weekend, which is 12:30 kickoff on Saturday at St Mary's. It's Southampton against Manchester United, and I've gone for 2-1 here. I think that after that game against Liverpool, it should give Man United a bit of confidence to go into this one against Southampton and just about nick the win. I still think there are problems there for Man United, as you know, they're all for everyone to see, but I think in this one they can just about get over the line.
Yeah, I've just gone for them to get a draw. I think Southampton will have the confidence as well after beating Leicester at home. United going away at St Mary's is going to be a difficult fixture. They're going to be put under pressure, and I expect as well a bit more of a physical challenge up front with the likes of Shea Adams and Firmino was producing for up against Sandro Martinez. So I am expecting Southampton to give them some trouble. So I've gone for a 2-2 draw.
All right, let's move on. And the next game is Brentford against Everton at the Brentford Community Stadium. We've both gone for the exact same scoreline here in 2-0 to Brentford. And, you know, Brentford have started the season fairly well. Everton quite the opposite. And I think it'll be a fairly routine victory for Brentford this weekend.
Yeah, Everton are struggling big time. I know they nicked a draw last time out against Forest, but they were definitely the second best team on the day. And I think Brentford are playing really well at the moment. They've got a lot of steel about them as well. They've shown that by two comebacks, although against Fulham they conceded in the last minute. I think at home, with the crowd behind them, I think they'll have too much for Everton right now. I don't see where the goals are coming from right now for Everton.
Yeah, that's the truth. Next up, Brighton against Leeds at the Amex. Both gone for the exact same scoreline again in 1-1. I was finding it really difficult to separate these teams, both having really quite strong starts to the season. And I think the history tells us as well, since Leeds have come into the Premier League, it is more likely a draw than not between these two teams. So, I mean, I was trying to side with a Brighton win, but I think Leeds in their own right have started really well, so I've gone for 1-1.
Yeah, I think it's both teams who are structured pretty well so far, and they've started the season both really well. I think 7 points each. So they're both going to come into the game really high on confidence. But I feel like as much as Jesse March's youthful pressing team that he's built at Leeds is really good at the moment, I think the structure Potter has is going to make it very difficult for Leeds to contain them. Having said that, I think Leeds will get some chances because Brighton do like to play out from the back. So I'm going to go with a draw, 1-1.
Let's move on to Stamford Bridge. Chelsea against Leicester. I've gone for 2-1 here to Chelsea. With Koulibaly suspended for this one, I can see Leicester nicking one from somewhere, but I think with Chelsea, with the result they had, they really need to come back strong in this one, and Leicester's probably one of the best opponents for them at that. So I think it will be a fairly routine victory for Chelsea, but I can see Leicester nicking one from somewhere.
Fair enough, I've gone for 2-0. I think even though Koulibaly's suspended, I still think they should be strong enough from the back to stop Leicester from scoring. I think Vardy has had a struggling start to the season so far. It doesn't look like he was as good as he started last season, which could be a problem. Obviously, James Maddison is still playing really well, but if they can shackle him, they proved against Spurs how good they can be at home and how dangerous they can be. So I've gone for a 2-0 victory for Chelsea, albeit I don't think it's going to be a result that you could read too much in, because Leicester are just all over the place at the moment.
Yeah, it's a sad state of affairs at Leicester at the moment, that's for sure. But let's move on to Liverpool against Bournemouth at Anfield. Both us going for routine Liverpool wins. I've gone for 2-0. Liverpool just look a bit toothless at the moment, but they are coming up against the Bournemouth side that have looked shocking as well, against everyone pretty much they've played this season. They haven't invested at all in the transfer window, and I got a suspicion they will go straight back down, potentially even bottom of the league. So I think Liverpool to get their first win of the season here.
Yeah, I think surely. If it doesn't come now, there's got to be serious questions asked about what's going on at Liverpool. Bournemouth are the perfect opponents for Liverpool after being beaten by Man United last time out. You're right, they haven't looked the same, but they don't have to look the same to be able to beat Bournemouth comfortably.
Yeah.
They could be half as good as they were last season. They should be able to win, and I can't see anything but them overwhelming. Even with their injuries, I can't see them. They have to overwhelm Bournemouth, in my opinion.
Let's move on to Manchester City against Crystal Palace in a game that usually, Palace usually give Man City a really good game. They really do. So I've gone for 2-0 here to Man City. I think Man City's defence is very, very strong. And with that result against Newcastle last week, 3-0, Man City are going to want to bounce back here. And you don't want to face a Man City team that are looking to bounce back. So I've gone for 2-0.
I've gone for, I think I'll be 2-1. I think City should have the quality to see it out, although Palace have a great blueprint for getting points to City. I think they won there last season 2-0, and obviously they've already drawn at Anfield as well this season, so they've shown they can perform against the big teams away from home. With the likes of Zaha and Eze on the break, I can definitely see them getting a goal for sure, but I think with Haaland now there at Man City, and the way they were able to cut through Newcastle even at 3-1 down was very impressive. So I think they'll have too much quality for Palace in the end, but I do see Palace scoring.
All right, and we move on to the Emirates, Arsenal against Fulham, and again we've gone for the exact same scoreline in 3-1. Arsenal have started the season really strong, but Fulham have also, in terms of performances, started the season really strong. And I got a feeling that this actually could be Arsenal's toughest game of the season so far as yet. They haven't been tested too much, to be honest, Arsenal, apart from the first game of the season in that second half against Palace. But I think Fulham can get a goal from somewhere, but I just think Arsenal are going to be too strong this weekend.
Yeah, Fulham within their own right will come into this game with a lot of confidence with the way they've been playing so far, especially Mitrovic, who's been a battering ram so far, and he's playing really well. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're swinging crosses into Mitrovic and he gets some joy out of Gabriel or Saliba. But I think Arsenal, momentum's with them at the moment, and I can't see anything but them being too strong for Fulham right now. The way their front three is just floating around and being an absolute nuisance. And as well, Fulham are not the most defensive team under Marco Silva. They like to have a go and attack, and that should play into Arsenal's hand. So I'm going for 3-1.
All right, and next up is Villa against West Ham at Villa Park. Again, we've gone through the exact same scoreline in 1-1. Both teams have started the season really poorly, especially West Ham without scoring a goal yet, 0 points on the board. Aston Villa, they have got points, but in games where the other team have just been poorer than them, it's not like they've played well or anything in terms of Aston Villa. So I got a feeling that West Ham will get their first point and their first goal of the season here, but not take all 3 points. 1-1.
Yeah, I'm of the same feeling. I think right now confidence is low in both camps. Obviously West Ham haven't got a point or a goal yet, but I think even though their start of the season's been that bad, there's still probably more belief in the camp than there is at Villa at the moment, where Gerrard has come in since last season, and it hasn't really got going yet under Stevie G. And the fact that they have the squad they have and they start the season so poorly, there's going to be questions asked, because they've got a decent squad there, Villa. Having said that, in this game, they've got the quality to get a goal out of West Ham, even though West Ham are a very resolute team. But West Ham have got to get a point, start getting points from somewhere, and I think it's going to come at Villa Park.
All right, let's move on to Molineux. Wolves against Newcastle, which is going to be a good game, I think. I've gone for 1-0 to Newcastle. Wolves, they've started the season quite well and playing well. Obviously, they gave us a really good game, but we just about nicked the 3 points off them. Newcastle, they've started the season really well, much better than Wolves in my opinion. They gave Man City one hell of a game last weekend in a 3-3 draw. Their defence is been fairly solid, as Wolves has been. But I just feel like Wolves are still struggling on the other end of the pitch trying to find goals, and I think the Newcastle defence might be a bit too mean for them, and they'll nick a goal from somewhere, Newcastle. So I've gone for Newcastle to win 1-0. Yeah,
I went for 2-2. I just think Wolves at home, I think they drew 0-0 at home to Fulham. They're still finding their feet with the new formation, but I think Newcastle really went for it against Man City, and they gave it a good go, and they're going to come into this game full of confidence, and I think they're going to go for it again, which could potentially leave some space for Wolves to play in. And obviously Ruben Neves, Nunes and Moutinho showed they can control a game, especially in the first half against Spurs. And then they got a really pacey front three in Neto, Guedes and Podence, potentially Jimenez as well coming in. And then you got Adama Traore off the bench. So I've got a feeling they're going to give Newcastle trouble in this game. But I can't see them keeping Newcastle out as they're adjusting to this more offensive formation. So I've gone for a 2-2 draw. Gone for goals.
See that Adama Traore in the Carabao Cup this week. What a goal that was.
Left-footed volley on the edge of the area. And if he can do more of that, maybe then he might get some more game time.
Well, maybe he might join Spurs. But anyway, let's move on to the last game of the weekend, which is Forest against Spurs at the City Ground. And we've both gone for the exact same scoreline. Once again, 2-0 to Tottenham Hotspur. And I think, with a team that have brought in 15, 16 new signings, it's going to take them time to really find their rhythm, and I think they're coming up against a Spurs team that know exactly what they're doing. All the players have been moulded in the shape of Antonio Conte for the last 6-7 months now, and I think Spurs will get the win, but I think it'll be a tough game.
Yeah, I think I can see Forest coming flying out the traps and trying to put pressure on us early. But if we can ride that storm, I think once we get settled in the game, I think we should be all right for a comfortable victory by 2 goals. And I think another clean sheet I'm hoping for. Forest, despite some good results, have actually conceded a lot of chances. I think they've conceded more chances than anyone else in the league so far this season, even though they're on 4 points after 3 games. So I think there's going to be chances there for Tottenham if we can just make sure that we're not overawed by the early atmosphere or early energy that Forest are going to put in. We should be okay in this game, I'm hoping.
All right, so that is our Premier League predictions. Let's move on to the star men. And I told Simeon we were going to pick the same man beforehand, and that's exactly what has happened.
Wow, I thought you were going to say Salah. I thought you were going to pick
Salah. He didn't believe me when I said it as well. He kind of brushed off the question and be like, "Nah, what are you chatting about?" But it has been Ivan Toney. We've both picked Ivan Toney. I've picked so far Rashford, Mitrovic and Bamford. So obviously I can't pick them again, and now Toney has been struck off for both of us as well.
Wow, I'm surprised. Yeah, Ivan Toney. I think again Everton at home. I think he's in great form, and I think he's going to give their backline no end of problems. And especially at home, I can definitely see him getting on the score sheet. So that's why I went for Ivan Toney. I nearly went for Mbeumo, but I changed it last minute to Toney.
Interesting. All right, well, there you have it. That is Predict the Prem for this week. I want to know your predictions in the comment section below. I want to know who you think is going to come out on top this week as well in the comment section below. 2 points is the gap. Let's see what happens at the end of this weekend. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.